of it's still there, the Hope Clinic near Regent's Park.
Hope you're enjoying the podcast. It's worth my sponsor. Before I locked Jen down with baby Ziggy, her ideal man was a rugby player with thick, dark hair.
And before he trapped me with Stockholm Syndrome, that was my dream. But look what I've ended up with, guys. Lucky me.
As a young man, I went from having a George Michael quiff to looking like Moby overnight. So I understand the depression you go through. If only they'd had manual hair service back then, which is revolutionizing hair loss treatment by combining science, tech, and medical expertise to deliver personalized, cutting-edge treatment plans. Manual has treatment options to target all stages of hair loss. 92% of men who use manuals hair plans saw improvement in their hair loss. You can receive your first treatment as little as 2 days, and most men see results in as little as 3 to 6 months. Just answer a few questions about your hair loss and medical history, and one of Manual's UK licensed experts will help you customize a plan to maximize your success and monitor your progress. More than 450,000 men trust Manual's hair loss treatment plans. Go right now to manual.co/Shaun, SHAUN, to get started. And when you do, you'll get 55% off your first order. That's 55% off your first order when you get started at manual.co/Shaun, manual.co/Shaun for 55% off men's health the way it should be. Thank you for supporting our sponsor. The link is in the description box on YouTube. Back to the podcast.
And Diana used to go to her for treatment. And this lady told me that, quote, friendly people from MI5 used to come and leave notes for Diana because they knew she would pick them up and not be, they could do it covertly. And she said that some of these notes from MI5, friendly people in MI5, were warning Diana that her life was in danger. So, the idea that the official story of Diana's death is how it was is insane. There's so many holes in it. First of all, her security that day, which was decided by Mohammed FYED, by the way, was absolutely insane. It was much less than someone like Madonna would get. And they were offered the chance by the French authorities for the French area of the authorities which looked after celebrities and the security of celebrities in Paris to increase the security, and it was turned down. And then you have this situation where they decide, it was DODI FYED on the phone to his father, and they decided, in other words, his father must have decided, because he ran DODI FYED with a rod of iron, really, in terms of everything he said went. And they decided that they were going to put a decoy car out the front, which was the car that Diana and him had been traveling in around Paris all day. And they were also going to put the one protection vehicle with that to kid the... they were going to put it out the front to kid the so-called paparazzi that they were going to come out. Because they've been putting out, I think through Max Clifford, that there was a possible announcement of an engagement, all that stuff coming. So there was a bit of a frenzy, which was all kind of whipped up during the day. And the other plan was that another car would be brought out the back, and they would go to DODI FYED's flat next to the Arc de Triomphe in that car, and that Henri Paul, the security guy at the RITZ Hotel, would be pulled back in from wherever he was. He disappeared for 3 hours. No one seems to know where he went, to drive the car. And the limousine company that provided the car was basically controlled by Mohammed FYED, because it was getting its clientele from the Ritz Hotel. This car had been stolen some time before, had a few things ripped out of it. I think the wheels disappeared, and then it was kind of out of action and stuff was done on it and repaired. And then this was the car that turned up. Now, when you talk to security people, they say the idea of bringing a new car into a situation, there you go, late at night, which had been not checked at all, there could have been a bomb in it, there could have been anything in it, was ridiculous and insane. So they now get in the car. They could have stayed the night at the Ritz Hotel if they were worried about the paparazzi. I mean, you know, FYED did bloody own it, or at least in theory. And then, so Henry Paul gets in the car and he drives. Now, what you do, because I went to Paris, I walked the route twice. When I was researching The Biggest Secret, I walked the route twice. You come out the back of the Ritz Hotel and you come down to a street, you turn right, and eventually you come to the Place de la Concorde, which has a big obelisk in the middle of it, which is all secret society, Freemasonic, Egyptian stuff. It's actually an original ancient Egyptian obelisk. And then you turn right in the middle of the square and you go up the Champs-Élysées and there's his flat. And that, because they'd been to his flat a couple of times that day, and that's the route they took. When they were coming to the Ritz Hotel, they came down the Champs-Élysées, onto the Place de la Concorde, up that street, bang, Ritz Hotel. No, Henri Paul goes past the Champs-Élysées on the Place de la Concorde and turns right onto a fast motorway, which, if you look at the map, here's the Ritz Hotel, there's his flat there. This is the route you take that Henri Paul took to go through the Pont d'Arme tunnel. He's going away from the flat, and he's going away apparently at high speed, and he hits the 13th pillar. There's 17 traffic cameras on the road between the Ritz Hotel and the Pont d'Arme tunnel, including one right on the top looking down over the entrance. Saw it myself, took a picture of it. Everyone wasn't working in the period that car made that journey. Then there was a guy sitting on a bench near the Arc de Triomphe, which is just across the river from the Pont d'Arme tunnel where she died, or where the crash happened. And he's one of these guys that loves to listen into police frequencies, police transmissions. He didn't know until he got home, but in that same period, the traffic cameras weren't working. All police frequencies went down in the central Paris. Silence. And he said when they came back, there were so many people trying to talk at the same time. He's never heard any chaos like it. And so the car crashes. And another thing, a guy called Rhys Jones, who's the security guard in the front seat. When you're a security guard in those situations, you don't put a seatbelt on because you want to be able to react very quickly. This is what security people say is the normal procedure. So he starts off in the car from the Ritz. He hasn't got a seatbelt on, and neither have DODI, FYED, and Diana. And then there was a photographer called Romund Rat, who caught up with the car at the Place de la Concorde at the lights, and managed to get a picture. Rhys Jones' seatbelt still not on. Neither is Diana's and neither is DODI, FYED's. Literally at the speed they was going, a minute, 90 seconds down the road when they crashed, Rhys Jones had his seatbelt on. But they didn't. Now, if you're a security guard, A, why are you putting the seatbelt on? Something must be going wrong. And secondly, why have you turned around and said, put your seatbelt on? So the car hits the 13th pillar. And just by coincidence, it's an amazing thing, synchronicity. Coming the other way, exactly at that time, was a medical guy who has been working in Paris in emergency kind of response, and his friend, though the relationship was never really fully understood, an American, was with him. So he stops the car, he goes across, and he says Diana's. A witness who said Diana was still alive, and then she's not. And by the time she got to the hospital, she's dead. And it took ages to get to the hospital.
So delayed intentionally.
Yeah, it took ages to get to the hospital. And